The River Deel is over 60 kilometres long. It rises in North Cork and flows through the towns of Milford, Castlemahon, Newcastle West, Rathkeale and Askeaton before entering the Shannon Estuary. Due to its winding nature, the river was originally named An Deel, meaning insect or worm in Irish. From below the Lep, south of the town bridge in Askeaton, the water becomes brackish, meaning it starts to become salty. Therefore, from this point onwards, the River Deel becomes the Deel Estuary. The town of Askeaton is built around the Deel, and the townspeople have relied on the river and estuary over many centuries. The town was originally called Inishkefty, Inish meaning island. A settlement was built on a limestone outcrop in the middle of the river around the 4th or 5th century. Askeaton Castle was built on this island, and the river offered protection to its inhabitants. The people of Askeaton relied heavily on fishing, and archaeologists have found fish traps dating back to the year 1041 AD on the estuary. The Franciscan friary was also strategically built by the Deel, and monks would catch fish from a weir downstream of the abbey. A few centuries ago, the banks of the river were lined with fishermen's houses and huts, and the 1901 census records show that many inhabitants in Askeaton were occupied as fishermen. The town's position made it ideal for trade, and boats travelled up the Shannon Estuary to enter Askeaton. Askeaton Rock Mill was built in the 1790s, and a water mill powered by the movement of a tributary stream was used to ground flour. This complex later became Askeaton Creamery. Today, the town of Askeaton is still reliant on the Deel in many different ways. Askeaton has a rich history of swimming. The Deel Swim, an 800-metre race up the estuary, has been an annual tradition since 1978. This celebrated event has played a key role in forming a strong swimming culture that exists in the town today. Unfortunately, due to high levels of bacterial pollution, the race was cancelled in 2021, and it is unknown when the water will be safe enough to swim in again. Desmond Rowing Club introduces young people in Askeaton and its hinterland to rowing. The club also provides facilities for adults, including gandalo rowing. A gandalo is a traditional wooden rowing and fishing boat, often used in regattas to race against other clubs in the area. There are several spots on the river to moor and launch a craft. Most popular are Gert and the New Quay. Although there are no fishermen living on the banks of the estuary anymore, there are still many anglers that enjoy recreational fishing on the Deel. Locally, the West Limerick Deel Anglers have 90 members who enjoy fishing for brown trout. The club work to improve the river through various projects and promote catch and release angling. Many large industrial companies are located on the Deel Estuary and River, or nearby on the Shannon Estuary. These rely on the Deel for resources such as hydroelectric energy or water abstraction from the river. Many of the historic ruins on the Deel today provide a home for wildlife. For example, a pair of peregrine falcons have used Askeaton Castle to nest and have successfully reared chicks for a number of years. Swifts, migratory birds that are threatened by loss of suitable nest sites, also use the castle and the Franciscan friary to nest. Swallows use the creamery to nest and can be seen hunting insects around the town during the summer months. Many bat species have been recorded in the area, and it is likely that Askeaton's riverside buildings are also used by these to roost. As the Deel Estuary is brackish, many species not typically found in freshwater, such as flounder, mullet and crabs, inhabit the waters in the town of Askeaton. Due to its close proximity to the Atlantic Ocean, a lot of sea trout and European eels travel up through the Deel Estuary and into the river and vice versa. Many anglers say that the Deel was once one of the country's finest salmon rivers. The Deel flows into the lower River Shannon estuary at the New Quay. This area is protected under the EU Habitats Directive as a special area of conservation and under the EU Birds Directive as a special protection area. Protection was awarded due to the exceptional biodiversity and habitats at this site. Many of the habitats and species that qualified this area for protection can be found around the coastline of Askeaton and Ballysteen. These include estuary, mudflats and salt flats, Atlantic salt meadows, and reefs. The River Shannon and River Fergus Estuaries SPA has internationally important populations of light-bellied Brent geese, dunlin, black-tailed godwit, and redshank, as well as a nationally important breeding population of cormorants. The site is the most important coastal wetland site in the country and regularly supports in excess of 50,000 wintering waterfowl. Many pressures face the Deel from nutrient pollution, sedimentation, and invasive alien species. When excess nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus enter a river, they pollute water in a process known as eutrophication. These may enter a river via many different pathways. Agriculture and urban wastewater runoff are two significant sources of pollution on the Deel. Runoff is a particular problem in the town of Askeaton, where a dual-purpose sewage and stormwater storage system is being overwhelmed during periods of heavy rainfall, and it is overflowing into the Deel estuary. This causes high levels of bacterial pollution and is the reason the Deel swim has been recently cancelled. The hydromorphology of the Deel was severely affected from 1962 to 1968, when much of the river was drained under the Arterial Drainage Act. The riverbed, where much of the river's life exists, was dug out to deepen it. This still impacts upon water quality and wildlife today. Invasive alien species are introduced, non-native species that have a negative impact on our native wildlife. Examples of problematic alien invasive species on the Deel include the American mink, Himalayan balsam, and crayfish plague. As these species are easily spread by humans to other rivers, it is essential that we always follow the check, clean, dry principle after being in or around rivers, streams, and lakes. Check for any invasives. For example, is there river gravel stuck to your boot? Clean your boots and equipment, kayak or boat, and allow to dry.